Well, hello and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair, and this is Streaming Idiots. Yeah, you've probably come to the wrong place by accident, but hey, hang around for a bit. At least check us out, see what we're all about. The idea behind the name, somebody was asking me this over the weekend. It says, Streaming Idiots? Come on, Tom. I said, the idea is to take the pressure off. You know, live streaming can be pretty intimidating for folks that have a passion for something and want to bring it to the rest of the world by live streaming a show or maybe a kid's soccer game or whatever. But by calling the show Streaming Idiots, we've said, hey, it's okay not to know all the answers. It's okay to come in and ask stupid questions because we've all been there. In fact, some of us are still there on occasion. So by all means, come in, take a seat, grab a snack, put your feet up, enjoy. We're glad to have you. The show runs about a half an hour. And if you miss it, if you're watching on YouTube, you can DVR it and pull it back the other way and hear anything that you may have missed. It also will be posted on YouTube, so you can watch it after the fact in case you missed something, you want to go back and hear the whole thing. If you're watching us now live on Facebook directly or Twitter or YouTube directly for that matter, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com and you can get it on the chat. There are a lot of folks in chat. They're having a great time discussing. They're not paying any attention to the show. But no, seriously, sometimes there's some great discussion that sort of parallels the show, and we'll grab some of that and bring that into the show as time goes on. So you're welcome to come join the chat at easternshorebroadcasting.com. Click the Watch Live tab. So excited about my guest today, Amnon Nissan with Nissan Communications. We're going to bring him on in just a minute. Amnon was the very second guest that I had on my show back in July 2012. That seems like the dark ages in live streaming. Live streaming is kind of like, live streaming years is kind of like dog years, you know? You know, something that happened 5 years ago was really 35 years ago. So anyway, I don't know where that was going. In the chat room, they're going, show? There's a show? Yeah, some of them just tune into the chat, I think. It's too funny. It's too funny. I did mention on the show last week they were putting together, you know, periodically we'll do what I call a group buy. And that is, we'll get a bunch of folks together that are interested in purchasing a certain product or service or software, and then we'll go out and make a group purchase, and we can really knock the price down sometimes on that. And we're in the middle of a group buy on PTZ cameras from PTZ Optics. So if you're interested in getting in on this group buy, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, or you can send me a Facebook message. You can join our Facebook group. Right down there at the bottom, facebook.com/groups/streaming idiots, and communicate with me and say, hey, Tom, I'm interested in a PTZ for my church, or we're thinking about putting one in the radio station, or we've got a couple here in the TV station and we want to get some others. There are lots of different uses for the darn PTZ camera. Somebody asked me that the other day, said, Tom, you know, if I had one, where could I use it? What kind of places could I use it in? And we've put them in TV stations and radio stations and churches and concert halls and event venues. People have been using them for sports. I couldn't believe you could use one for sports broadcasting, but I got proved wrong on that one. So there's so many different ways. So if you're interested in that, we're putting together a group buy. Shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, or shoot me a personal message. I guess they call it a PM through Facebook, and I'll respond. And we'll probably got another week to take names of folks that are interested. No obligation, but we can go in and kind of negotiate a price and see if that's what everybody likes. If that's the case, then you can make the buy at that price. So there you go. And yes, we do ship overseas. We've been asked that a couple of times. So today we have, I said earlier that it was the grandfather of live streaming. I think since live streaming goes like, he's making faces in the green room here. Since live streaming is like dog years, you know, something that happened 20 years ago is like 140 years in dog years. So our guest today is not the grandfather of live streaming. I think he's the great granddaddy of live streaming. We're making him older by the minute. I want to bring Amnon Nissan into the show. Amnon, welcome. Glad to have you. Do you have audio?
Do I have audio?
Ah, you have audio. Okay. Very good. Very good. Welcome.
This audio, I'll fill up the tank with this audio, so we'll
Fill,
have it. Okay.
fill up the tank with the audio. That's right. That's right. So I didn't mean to offend you by making you a great grandfather, but you really have been there since the very beginning. I mean, you guys with your radio station 24 years ago kind of pioneered the whole concept of, I guess then it was sort of a radio station with a video feed. And
Well, that wasn't 23 years ago. I mean,
that
we
wasn't
started
23. You started the
24
radio
years
show 23 years ago. Yeah.
when Ustream became known.
Right.
That's when we said, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, we can do that." And we started doing it in the studio. The lighting was bad. It was really everything was bad, but people could watch and listen to us.
Well,
And
I bet if Mike Phillips was there, the video may have been bad, but the audio was pristine.
the audio were always perfect
Yeah.
because we used the radio station audio to pipe it into what was it? I think that was Wirecast producer.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
YouTube was using. I mean, that Ustream was using.
Yeah.
But the camera was the trick. I mean, we wanted to see both of us, and in many cases, I was sitting on the outside, on the side of the technician that was like the screener, the techie guy, because I was running the board also. Toward that time, they did not have. They were cutting back, and I had to run the board myself, which was fine. It wasn't a big deal. But we ended up putting the camera on my side of the wall with two glasses. I mean, it was like, because of radio station, people would know, but reflection of audio, it was going through two glasses to go into the studio. It was amazing. I mean, people still loved it and everything, but that's how it started. And when they decided that they're not going to not produce but promote it anymore, that's when we decided we're going to go on our own and do it the right way. And that's when I built the studio, and we continue doing it here.
And and at some point after that is when you and I crossed paths back in 2010 or 11 or something.
I don't remember the year that it was, but a long time ago.
A long time ago in live streaming years. That's right. And I was representing a software product that did live video production that will go unnamed, and you got it and went nuts with it. It was software that was really easy to use. It was easy to learn, but it had a pretty low ceiling.
Yep.
And it had a few bugs crawling around in the ceiling.
You had to be a really short guy to use it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then you jumped ship from that to that other software that will go unnamed. Oh, come on. Go.
Yep.
Let's name it.
Okay, I jumped to Wirecast.
You jumped from VidBlaster to Wirecast.
Right.
And
it took
that was
forever.
Wirecast 4?
Really? That was Wirecast 4, yeah.
Okay. And unlike VidBlaster, it was difficult to set up.
It was very difficult, and I fought it for about a year before I actually jumped into it.
Yep.
I didn't jump into it. I was pushed into it, so to speak.
So to speak.
I couldn't play VidBlaster anymore. I mean, it was bad.
It was like standing on an island with a hurricane coming and all the sand is washing away. Yeah, you had no choice. You had to jump ship.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't fun. It was really, I mean,
Yeah.
And then I was lucky. I always had people around me that could help. And I had Steve Haywood, who,
Hmm.
got me all set up. And I said, okay, now I can use it. And I used it, and it was great. Suddenly, oh, wow, HD and all that kind of stuff. Really? And used and yeah, I used it until what? Until about 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yep.
What precipitated the thought to even leave Wirecast?
The main problem that I had, and remember now, for my show, I wouldn't care much about it, but I do shows for other people who are here and they're paying for it.
Right.
One of the biggest problem with it was, or it still is, with version 6. I don't know how it is in 7 or 8, because I kept on using version 6. I believe in, if something works, just keep using it. Never mind. If you play a video like the intro or the outro, or even a video from inside, like in the middle of the show,
Right.
you have to turn off your headphones in the program. There's a little bitty icon right by the volume, and you have to click it. Otherwise, it goes like that, like this. Exactly. It gets louder and louder. And it was very uncomfortable. I could never master it. You would click that icon and you say, okay, I got it. And then you go to the video. And before you go back, you click that video again. And in many, that icon again. And in many cases, it wasn't actually clicking it. It is, I mean, for programmers, for somebody that has to do with GUIs, if you're turning an icon from grayish to white, don't have the icon go white when you hover over it, because at that point you don't know you don't see it going on or off. It always looks like it's on. So you would, when I come back and it's not correct, I would have to really scramble to get it. But, and I don't like to edit videos. I don't edit any of the videos of the shows that we do. And it would have that echo thing. And I kept on, every now and then it will happen.
The echo was not just for you, it was for everybody.
No, it goes out, because remember, I don't wear headphones like you do.
Right.
I've got speakers. Yeah, I've got speakers. Mike fixed it up here so we can use speakers. And it was very bad. And then I had a complaint from one of them saying, why was this like that? I said, it's me. It's, And at that point,
Operator error.
It's always up. The problem is always between the keyboard and the chair, or the mouse and the chair.
Right.
But it was just not done right. It wasn't implemented correctly. So Nick was trying to push me to use vMix. You were trying to push me to use vMix, and you went to great lengths to get me. And I finally decided, okay, it's time. There was another reason, but I can't talk about it now. And you know what I'm talking about.
Have you tried to actually cash that check? I don't know that check's any good.
Okay. So when and Nick always told me, he said, with vMix, you will never have that problem, Amnon. And sure enough, since I started using it, I set it up. It took about 3 days. And I started on a Wednesday, and I don't have shows. Sometimes every other Wednesday, I don't have a show. So I had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to set it up. And the lucky thing, like we said last week, like I was explaining, that I have so many profiles. Each show, I mean, 8 shows, and each show has different profiles. One on Skype, one without Skype, one 2 in the studio, one 3 in the studio. I don't do one profile with a whole bunch of inputs. I do
Right.
a profile for each. So it was good. It was a lot of practice, one after another, and by the time I got to the end, I mean, I was really doing. I said, "Gosh, that's how easy it was," and I fought it for over a year, and that is so nice.
All
to be
right,
able
hold
to
on.
click-
Wait. You just let that slip by. You let that slip by me, and you thought that you were just
What?
gonna. I'll just say it and we'll slip by. You pondered this decision to switch
Oh,
to
yeah.
vMix for a year,
Yeah.
and in the early days, what was it that was keeping you from pulling the trigger? Why were you not? Why a year ago? Why didn't you say yes? Let's go.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I am not good in learning something new. And besides, I mean, remember again,
But that's
if
true
I'm doing-
today.
that's true today. But there again, that reason which I can talk about pushed me to it. And you were there, and Nick was there, and you guys said, "Don't worry, Amnon," because I always the
Right.
problem is, again, that when you do shows for other people,
Right.
you can text and say, okay, you take 2 weeks off if you want to.
Right.
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 I can do that.
Yeah.
I have
You can't tell them, oh, it's not working today. Sorry, come
Right.
back next week.
so,
Yeah.
so that's why it was easy to just hang on with it and use it and use it and use it. But then it gets to the point, and the same thing happened with Wirecast. When I went from VidBlaster, I fought it and fought it and fought it. And then when I finally had it running, I said, dang, why didn't I do it before? The same
Right.
thing here. So it was just the right time. And I'm so glad I did it. It does what I wanted to do. It does it a lot easier. I don't have to, you click and it works and you get nothing to worry about. Now, the first problem that I had with vMix, and again, I don't want to tell you that I don't have little teeny complaints about the
Sure.
way that it does things.
Yep.
But when we were trying to set up vMix to vMix, it wouldn't work. And I did not want to change my setup because I have a show tonight, and I don't want to screw things up and then, something happened. That was the first thing. But I think, and I need to ask Nick. Nick was telling me when vMix Call came out, he said, Amnon, you won't be able to use it because you can't use a mixer, or you told me a USB mixer.
Right.
And we're using a USB mixer, and that's the way it's going to stay. I'm not going to learn how to use a virtual mixer. and for
Famous last words.
Well, right now we're using Chrome to get back to you.
Right.
And
Right.
I would love to see what the picture would have been if we went vMix to me, because I would think that it would be a lot better.
Actually,
Probably.
it's really funny because Chrome will adapt the resolution and bitrate based on the bandwidth. So you may actually have a better video than the video that we were dealing with earlier today when we were first setting up. It looks much sharper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
now
I'm set up.
your audio is terrible. Your audio needs all sorts of work. I don't know whoever set that up. It was probably some old guy that set it up. That's the problem right there.
Yeah. But the other thing, the other nice thing is that the CPU usage went down
Yeah. Yeah.
with vMix.
Yeah. And didn't
But I'm told that Wirecast 8 also brings it down. So, but I don't know yet.
yet. Got you. Folks, if you're just joining us, welcome. This is Streaming Idiots. My guest today is Amnon Nissan with Nissan Communications. in North Carolina, and Amnon has been doing live streaming since the early days of live streaming. Took his terrestrial radio show and brought a camera into it, and then has, long story short, has opened up a live streaming studio of his own and has folks that come in almost every day of the week for a live show. And we're talking about the transitions that he's made from first VidBlaster to Wirecast and now to vMix. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, we invite you to come watch us on easternshorebroadcasting.com. It won't take you but a second to get there. Plus, you'll get the chat room, and there's a lot of great conversation going on in chat right now. So, Amnon, now that you've got vMix, do you see anything that you can do now that you couldn't do before?
Yes. I don't know that I wasn't able to do it before, but I wasn't able to easily do it before. Okay. I love how the lower thirds work. I love the way that you adjust the chroma in each shot. The audio setup, the audio mixer on the side. I mean, in the beginning I didn't understand. I said, so you can turn that off and that on, and you can adjust the volume of the intro, but not the actual show. And there are things like that, but I can't think of anything that I couldn't do before. But there are things that I didn't do before.
Right. That you chose not to. Yeah.
Now, gotcha. It was really frustrating in the beginning to do the lower thirds with the XAML. To have to produce it. I mean, to create the lower third. It's the same lower thirds that I was using with Wirecast, and to get them to convert it, so to speak, or saved, and then figure out how to put the text on it now. But now that I understand it, wow, I even making it so it goes in and out instead of staying there. These are
animated lower third. I love it. So are you using?
I'm using just the slide. I'm not using any of the animated ones.
Okay. You'll get there, one step at a time. So are you using a control surface of any kind?
I tried. I have the Korg.
Right.
And I tried it, and I didn't feel. I mean, I'm used to the mouse. And Nick, if he was here, he would have hit me over the head. But when he was here 2 weeks ago, he got me. He said, "Okay, here, and let's do this." And I figured I had to do it, and I said, "Okay." But now you have to remember which one is this, and what this one does, and it's, again, it may take time,
right,
to get used to it, and maybe it will be better. But for now, I'm not using it anymore. I
have a button here on my X keys that's marked guest audio.
Yeah.
And I can mute you with the push of a button.
Okay. Here's my question.
I can also mute me with the push of a button. What's your question? I'm sorry.
The question is, so you have that button. Now, will that button follow each and every profile?
Yes.
It will.
It will.
Now, if I want...
But it doesn't have to.
Oh, wait, no. You see, that's what I want to understand, which I don't understand. If you have profile A, profile B, go ahead. Profile C. Profile A, I want button number 1 to bring up the double box. Profile number 2, I want A to bring the double box, but on 3, I want A to bring the not the guest, but the host who is on Skype. does the setup of the layout of the control surface, is it saved in the profile or is it saved in the main settings of vMix?
Yes. You can do it either way. You can have a set of shortcuts that are specific to just that profile, or you can have shortcuts that are universal. Now, you can't use the same button for both.
Yeah, I don't need anything that's universal.
Okay.
I would rather have something that I do a profile and I know that these are the buttons for that profile, because I was trying to do it according to the inputs that I have when I go to the show.
Uh-huh.
You know, not all of them, but just the one I use. And okay, 1 is 1, 2 is 2,
Sure.
3 is 3, 4 is 4.
Right.
So if I have 4 or if I have 7, I want them to be in the same order.
Sure.
So it will save it, are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay, you see, I wasn't clear on that.
But, you know, you got to start where you are, and you keep building and building and building and building, and you get more and more complex. There's a lot to be said for keeping things simple, because if something's simple, it doesn't break very easily, and if it does, it's easy to figure out. But when you end up, I mean, you know, we're just now talking about shortcuts, but wait till you discover triggers. Oh, you're going to love triggers, but sometimes you can lose a trigger. It's like, where did I put that trigger? Is it on this input or that input? We need some sort of way of a directory of where our triggers are. That would be a good vMix feature request. No, you guys can't put that in. That's mine. I get to put that one in. An overall directory of triggers, so we can find out. Because I have had triggers that I've put in, then I forgot they were there. And it's like, why does this thing keep popping up? Where's it coming from?
I was trying to do a trigger for a lower third.
Oh,
so when I clicked,
that's good.
When I tried, it didn't work. When I click on my shot, for instance, it will bring it up. It will slide the lower third.
Right.
And after about 10 seconds, it will slide it back out.
Right.
I tried all kind of different combinations. I'm doing something wrong, because you told me that it should work. So I said, no, I won't. Because I learn a whole lot better when I do it and I mess up and I spend hours on it. Then I'll never forget it. One of these days I get okay, I can figure it out. Tell me how to do it.
I agree.
And then
Me
I'll
too.
Yeah. So that's how. But
You
yeah,
know,
it's got a lot of options. I mean, it's got so many options. It's great.
Very good. The check is in the mail. Yes, sir.
And one of those things, that was another reason why I fought it for so long. It
Really?
was overwhelming. You go into the settings and you don't have that in Wirecast.
Yeah.
The menu in Wirecast is, or maybe I was used to it already, but
Right.
you go in and, oh gosh, what in the world? I don't know what to do in this and that, and you have to add this here. But now that I'm better with it, I know how to add an input real quick and do it. So, but
It's
that
like-
was one of the.
It's like driving into a new town. You know, you don't know where the grocery store is. You have to find out where the grocery store is. You know, you don't know where the pharmacy is. You have to learn your way.
Yep.
And one of the things that I loved about vMix when I came into it was that every possible function that I could do a shortcut was listed. I didn't have to know what they were and type them out by hand. I just selected them from a menu. It's like, oh, I can do this and I can do that. And it was like when as a kid, I used to go to the library to write reports for school. Yes, I did go to school. And you'd have an encyclopedia, and you go through all the pages in the encyclopedia, and it was like, oh, wow, I'm doing a report on this, but this looks really interesting. So I'd read about that, and then I'd go to the next one. And you know, that's what I miss about Google, is that Google takes me right where I want to go, and I don't get to learn all this ancillary stuff at the same time, although sometimes I do. But
Go ahead.
But with vMix, all those shortcut options are there, and they're even categorized so that I can pick a particular category of shortcuts. For example, I want to do a shortcut with a transition. It it gives me a list of all the shortcuts that have to do with transitions. And I like that kind of organization where you can kind of drill down a little bit. Of course, I can look at all 300 some odd shortcuts at one time, or functions that I can do in a shortcut. And, that always boggles me. And I'm like, oh, wow, I want to learn about this one. What was it? Something like something about start index. Well, what's a start index? I got to find out about that because I might need it one day. And if I know about it, then I can use it and I can share it with my friends. I'm sorry, I was on a roll.
No, I was just going to say that the thing that helped me a lot in the beginning, it got me over that hump to get into it, was all the good videos. The videos that vMix has on site, your shows.
Yeah.
They're great. And I mean, I was always listening to the show, but I wasn't paying attention to the technical talk when you were talking about vMix because I wasn't using it.
Right.
So it didn't mean anything. It shoop right over my head.
Yep.
So I went back and watched some of those. And a lot of these helped me. I said, oh, okay, so this is how. Oh, so that's how.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that coupled with your help and Nick's help, I mean, it may cause me to use it so fast.
Do you have my cell number?
No.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All my friends, all my clients have my cell number. That's right. Yep. I'll get a call. I'll get a call at 10 o'clock at night, which is 11 o'clock Eastern, and it says Amnon Nissan. I was like, "What are you doing calling me at 10 o'clock?" Well, I was just thinking about this. Can you do this? Oh, he's gone away. Oh, well, it was a great show. He's back. He's back.
But to recap it.
Yes.
vMix is great. I still say that there are some things that could be done better as far as the GUI. I'm not technical as far as how video should work.
Okay.
And I'm willing to learn and to adapt to the way that it should be. But certain things in the GUI should work according to how a user would use it, not how a professional. I don't think it's clear how somebody who doesn't do it every day, 8 hours a day, would use it, because it's a switcher. Some people sit for 8 hours shift and use their switchers.
Right.
But if you do it once a week, twice a week, I mean, some things need to be different. And my main beef is the streaming profile. I really don't understand. I understand the problem with Facebook and streaming to another, but those terms are not. Facebook doesn't tell vMix, these are our terms. Facebook tells me, the broadcaster, these are our terms. You cannot do it. But vMix should make it available. If I want to break the law or break their terms, because there are ways to break it.
They did.
There are more than there's more.
And
than
Facebook
one
blocked vMix for 9 hours. It blocked
What do you
anything
mean?
Facebook refused streams from anything that came from a vMix software, and I was
Really?
there when it happened. Yes, and it was while we were at StreamCon in Atlanta back in April or May, whenever that was. And Martin had to go rewrite some code right there at the convention, right there at the conference, to be able to work around that, because Facebook has said, that's it. Anything that comes from vMix.
So why aren't they doing the same thing to Wirecast?
I don't know.
See?
They must. I don't know. But it shut down. I think it was the threat. I think the threat from vMix was higher, because more people are probably using it now.
No, I mean, it's fine. Like I said, there are other ways to do it.
Right.
But the other thing that I don't understand why they didn't program in there. I don't use just one CDN.
Right. You use 5 or 6, don't you?
5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
And I don't use all of them at once.
Right.
I don't see any here in vMix in Wirecast. You go into the setup of the streams.
Right.
You set up the stream, and you can check. When I click stream, I want you to use this one, and this one.
Right.
The other ones are there, but they're not being used.
Right.
Over here, you can't save it. You can only do 3, and you can't really save others. Why don't you give me the option to save as many as I want? And then for this show, I want to use this one. For that show, I want to use this, and this. There's no reason to keep it at 3. I understand that when you click stream, it's going to take all 3. Which in Wirecast, you could do that, or you could have clicked on output and then start this one and this one only. And it will do it on the fly. But to save, so you don't have to. And that's another thing. Why Facebook? Are you telling me that more people with Facebook stream to just for their friends and not to the public?
Oh, I don't know.
Why? Okay. Why is the default when you go to set up a Facebook stream, you have to change every time? You have to change it. You have to rewrite it from scratch, and you have to choose which page you want it to go to, and whether you want it to be public or for friends. And friends is the default. Why? Why can't you leave it?
We need to talk.
Okay.
I don't know I don't know who set you up with that workflow, but we need to talk about it.
Okay.
A workflow that will cut about 25 steps off of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not out there. And if you go to the vMix forum, there is no information about how to do it.
I did a video on it.
Okay. I'm searching the forum. I'm sure a lot of people would like to have that in order to cut back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are the little, I mean, they're not important. They're not going to stop me from using the software.
Right.
But they will make the software a lot more friendly.
Sure. Good. Good.
It could be.
Good.
Yeah, but
Good stuff.
It's great stuff. And it's cheaper too.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's undervalued, underpriced.
Well,
anyway,
it is you know what? Before I talked to you, or maybe it was after I talked to you about VidBlaster,
yeah,
there was already vMix out there. You remember?
I do.
It didn't look anything like this. It was like, it was really something out of, and I actually still have it loaded on one of my laptops here. And it was something that, I mean, what is that? Because we always tried to find something different.
Right.
And it was, and I remember when you went into vMix, I said, yeah, I was using that, geez, years and years ago. Oh, and I didn't use it. I saw it and I tried to use it.
Right. Likewise. Yeah. Likewise. I think I looked at it first in 2012 and I said, I don't get it. It wasn't very intuitive. It wasn't. No,
it was not.
Wasn't like VidBlaster that you just did what you thought would work, and it did. But once you get over that hump, it's like, oh wow, okay, I get it. Yep. It's Legos, but it's Legos on steroids. Yep. Good suggestions. I like it.
They've been doing great work on it. Great work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you using NDI in your studio yet?
Not yet. No, because you see, again, it's what works, I don't fool around with. So the way that I do my streaming, now I'm sitting on my switching machine.
Yeah.
And I use that for Facebook only. I have the HDMI going to another machine, which is right now doing the 24/7 streaming.
Right.
And when I go live, I switch the shot to the live shot, and now I'm streaming to all those other CDNs at the same time.
Aha.
Would I have said that?
No, that's
So,
fine.
so
Facebook is not watching.
yeah.
They
So
don't
this is now. Nick was telling me, he said, Amnon, you can do away with the capture card on the other machine and just do it with NDI. I said, when the time comes. Right now,
Right.
it's working. I have no problem with it.
And you can do it with the push of a button.
Well, okay. I mean, I
Yeah.
do have an X.
Yeah.
I have an X keys with 52 keys or something like that.
52. Oh, interesting.
I don't know. It's pretty big.
Okay.
You want me to bring
Good.
it?
Next time. Yeah.
Go it? No. Okay.
Oh, if you've got it right there, yeah, show it. Show us what you got. Okay, folks, as Amnon steps away, we've gone overtime a little bit, but heck, it's so much fun to chat with him. I hope you guys are hanging in there with us. If you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com and you can get in on the chat. Although the chat's kind of silent. I think they're stunned. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That is cool. I have
Which
not
one
seen
is it?
that. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that model.
Hey. KP58X PUSB.
I'll be darned. I'll be darned. That is cool. I love it. I love it.
This came from, oh, shoot. I can't believe I forgot his name. The guy
Mike.
who was on,
Mike
No.
Phillips, the old guy.
no, this came, what was the name from the guy from North Carolina who was doing the show with the guy from England?
Vance.
Vance Willis.
Yeah,
That's
Vance Willis,
gave
yeah.
it to him.
Yeah. Dan from PI Engineering, the X Key guys, is in the chat room, and he said it's an old one, a X Keys USB Pro, which I think graduated onto this guy, which is the X Keys XK80. So it's got a
Yeah,
few more
but
keys
the
on it.
truth is, I don't have, as things are right now here, I don't have room for this to be able to, and I don't think I need so many buttons. I don't.
Of course not. Of course not.
He gave me this one to use with VidBlaster.
Aha. All right. Did it work?
Never did. You remember? I bought the cord because you told me to back then,
Yeah.
and you sent me the driver for it. But I just took the cord out of the box 3 weeks ago. So 5 years it's up there on the shelf, never used.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, eBay, man. eBay.
No. I'll use it. I mean, I'll probably
All right.
start using it.
Dan says he doesn't think that vMix supports the old one directly. So we may have to help you with a driver or something on that one.
I'm not gonna be using it. It's way too many keys, and it's also too big to fit on the desk here comfortably.
Okay. Gotcha.
The
Gotcha.
Korg will go perfectly right beside the Computer's 2K Voice laptop.
Okay.
So it's perfect
Got
there.
it. Got it. So, folks, if you're ever in North Carolina, you need to stop by and see Amnon's studio. It's open every day of the week. In fact, it's open 24 hours a day. And he'd love to have you stop by. No, seriously. If you would like to see some of the product that Amnon's been producing, go on over to NissanCommunications.com, and you can see there are pre-recorded shows streaming right now. Plus, you can get the schedule of shows that stream throughout the week, days and evenings and weekends. It's a really eclectic grouping of shows about all sorts of topics. So it's really good.
It's fun.
Yeah, that's right. It's fun. It's fun. Well, let's transition over into post-show. So if you're watching us live, hang on for a few minutes. If you're watching us on YouTube after the fact, thanks so much for watching. In fact, Amnon, let me go ahead and do the close, and then we'll come back. So we thank Amnon for taking time out to be with us today. He's so knowledgeable, and there's such a richness and a depth to his history in live streaming. It's always a treat to chat with him. Coming up next week, we're going to pull a Martin Steed and try to do a live broadcast from Interstate 65 in Florida. Same time, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll be traveling that day, and I thought, well, let's see if we can't do a vMix call back here to the studio and let the studio equipment go ahead and do the live stream. So we got to figure out the technical part of that. Probably use what's it called? TeamViewer to help us out with part of that, and then vMix call to make the connection. So we'll see. That'll be fun. And then coming up 2 weeks from today, Michael Rempel is going to be on. He's the audio professor, and we'll talk a little bit about audio. And if you're interested in audio, or even if you're not, but you say to yourself, I just don't know enough about the subject. I don't know enough about how it works. We're going to dive into some of that. So this is a show that you'll want to put on your calendar for November 8th to come on in, and it's great if you're there live because it means you can ask questions, and that'll be I think the real bonus of it. So we'll have a good show next week. That's Michael Rempel on 11/8, and then 11 will be the mobile broadcast, and then we're not sure about the 15th, and on the 22nd we'll probably take a break for Thanksgiving. So that's the next couple of weeks. Don't forget about the PTZ Optics group buy. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, or send me a PM through the Streaming Idiots Facebook group, which I hope you will join. Gosh, I guess that's, the infomercial part. Sorry. The commercial part, all of this has been info, but now the commercial part. I am an authorized reseller for vMix and Magewell, that's the capture card folks, for Marshall, and we specifically have the Marshall camera line, for PTZ Optics, of course, and then my favorite, the X keys. So if I can help you with any of those products, or if you have them and you need some support, especially for the vMix, we do sell a support package for that. What else? Oh yeah, and we do design and build custom streaming PCs. So if you're needing one for your church or your sports team or your talk show, we just shipped one out Friday to a great young couple in California that are going to start a talk show with it. If I can help you, even if you just want to chat about that, you think that I can help fill in some of the gaps in your knowledge, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, and we can figure out a time to chat. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you're watching us live, stick around for the post show, and we'll be back in, golly, if I can figure out how to get out of this thing, we'll be back in just a minute. Take care.